This program is paid for by N3 Oceanic Incorporated. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of N3 Oceanic or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
Anthony Gambone and Denise Gambone. We've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2016.
With the holiday season upon us, there's nothing I'm more thankful for than being here with Crash Proof Retirement. You're guaranteed to not lose any principal, and you're cheering the stock market to go up because it means you make more money.
That's the beauty of the Crash Proof system. I've made money, and I haven't paid for anything. You secure your nest egg, then it's compounded the next year. There's real growth.
Since Tony and I came to Crash Proof Retirement, we have made a substantial amount of money. And I mean, what's not to like about coming to Crash Proof Retirement? I would encourage everybody to have that same sense of security and peace for 2026.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show with Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman today at 11 a.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Tom Azelby on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Tom Azelby. Welcome to 1210 WPHT in Philadelphia. You'll hear me every Saturday morning here from 8 to 9. I'm also doing fill-in for some of the other great shows here on 1210. Cal and Company, Dawn Stenslin, Rich Zioli. So you can hear me doing a lot of fill-in, especially over the holidays. But I will be here every Saturday morning, 8 to 9. You can also find me on X, or you can at Old Gravy Podcast. That's my podcast. You can also find Tom Azelby on Facebook. And you know what? If you want to talk about the content of the show, you want to give me some suggestions, some ideas, you can always email me at oldgravypodcast@gmail.com. So anyway, I want to kind of give you an idea of how I like to do the show and how I come at it. This is a political talk station. So really, my view is not something I learned at the JFK Harvard school, but or not something I read in the Wall Street Journal, but it's how I've lived, like what my experiences in life is. So it's definitely going to be biased. So I take all my experiences in life, family, entrepreneurship, and all the different things and the different places I've been, and that really forms my political opinion. And I think that does for a lot of people. Now, you use newspapers and online to kind of get information on what's going on, but your core belief system, a lot of that has to do with your life experience. And sometimes it's frustrating because there's a saying that goes, there's two people can be watching the same thing on a screen, but seeing two different movies. And that goes on all the time. That's the political dialogue that we have today. And it can get frustrating. But I'm biased, too, because my political perspective comes from family, life, how I've lived. So always take that into consideration. And I always say, do your own research. And I say one other thing, always check the source. If someone is online, if someone's writing an article, find out where they came from, because their life experiences are going to influence how they write something, how they interpret something. So I always say, go to the source. And it doesn't make a difference how smart you are and where you were educated. That's, that can be part of it. That can be part of it. But from an academic standpoint, I was a political science major, but nothing to write home about my GPA, that's for sure. But I'll tell you one thing about college, what it did for me. It definitely socialized and civilized me when I went to college. So that's a good thing. I also got to learn how to read people. I think that's a really good skill if you want to be an entrepreneur. and you're doing any type of startup, being able to read people is going to really help you get ahead in life. So that's one of my encouragements for any entrepreneurs out there. Okay, Army-Navy game. Such a big thing in Philadelphia is the Army-Navy game. Unfortunately, they moved the game around too much. The game's now in Baltimore, and then it goes up to Giant Stadium. But, back in the 90s and into the 2000s, we had like a 20-year run here in Philadelphia. And I thought it was great for the city every year, Army-Navy. Now, the reason I love the Army-Navy game so much is, A, I do love football, but it's such a great tradition, and it was such a great tradition to have it here in Philadelphia. And believe it or not, I've been going to the Army-Navy game. Sometimes we wouldn't even go into the game, but me and my high school buddies have been meeting for the Army-Navy game over 3 decades. Always showing up. Sometimes we'd go in, sometimes we wouldn't. We've traveled to New York for the game. We've traveled to Baltimore for the game. But it is a wonderful experience regardless where they play it. And I can't really explain it. It's not like a traditional game. It's a very emotional kind of day with it's just great people, great games sometimes. Navy actually should win this year. They're in the top 25, I believe, but the game's down in Baltimore. So me and my friends this year, we're going to meet here in Philadelphia and hang out here, and that's what we normally do. But a little bit of history on the game. The first game was in 1890. It was in 1890, and it's been played ever since, but they've had games that they haven't played because of World War I. But I found this an interesting little historical fact, and I do love history. After a game in, I forget, in the late 1800s, they canceled the game for 5 years because a Navy admiral and from the Navy, obviously, and a brigadier general, Army, they got into a fist fight after the game. So President, I think Grover Cleveland said, you know what, this thing is just too hot. We're going to let it settle down. So for 5 years, they didn't have a game. And I'll give a little local touch on this whole story about Army-Navy and the brigadier general fighting. There's something about men. They do like to fight. I was just at a high school football game, and after the game, it was a state championship. There's just something in men. They got that fighting instinct. And, we've even had a little of that with my high school friends all coming in for 35 years. There's always an insult that's not well taken, and we've had a couple incidents, but one of the funnier ones was in New York City. And we come out of the Union League in New York City, and they have this Santa Day up there. It's really annoying. All these young people, but it's fun for them. They're out drinking, and they're all wearing Santa outfits. But when we come out of the Union League, some younger Santa insults one of the guys I'm with who's a Union League member and says capitalism sucks or something. This is like 15 years ago. Next thing I see is like my friend wrestling with the Santa Claus on Fifth Avenue or wherever it is in New York City. And when I read about that brigadier general fighting the Navy admiral, I'm like, some things never change. In a place in Philadelphia, and I do want to promote it. Kirk, I don't know if you've ever been there. Have you ever been to Oscars on Sansom Street?
No, I have not.
It is like one of the most classic dive bars in Philadelphia. I mean, it is very lowbrow, but what a great place. And I'm not insulting it. It's one of my favorite dive bars.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we had an incident in there once with all our friends in there. A little scuffle breaks out between two guys who are all friends. And the guy who attacked the Santa Claus because the guy didn't like capitalism up in New York, he's with such vigor, he starts breaking up the fight and telling everyone to calm down. And I'm like, why are you so upset? Because usually he doesn't get all that worked up about things like this.
Right.
Because he said getting thrown out of Oscars, it is like the lowest of low places to drink and hang out.
Right.
That if you get thrown out of Oscars, you demean your family's reputation back through the generations if you could get thrown out of Oscars. If you got thrown out of the Ritz-Carlton, if you got thrown out of the Union League, well, that's honorable. They're nice places, and they do throw you out for bad behavior. But getting thrown out of Oscars was the worst thing possible. But then again, he was a Georgetown guy, and that's how he thought. And I hope he's listening because he might take that as an insult. Anyway, we're gonna keep moving on. There was There's a lot of stuff I want to get to today. And the first thing is Dom Giordano did a great episode with the sheriff from Polk County when the Philadelphia club football players, they went down to Florida in Polk County. I know it well. I've driven through it numerous times. And even when I drive through Polk County, I say to myself, this is a county you don't want to get in trouble with. So here's the story. You guys all heard it in the news. And if you want to get it from the source, the police sheriff down there was on Dom's show. He did a great show. But what happened is they're playing a club football. They're 14 and 15-year-olds. They all get an Uber early in the morning before the games. There's 8 boys, 14 to 15. They go to a Dick's Sporting Goods in Florida in Polk County. They have 2-man teams. So there's 4 teams of 2. Now these are freshmen in high school, I guess. They go into the Dick's and they steal $2,000 worth of merchandise. Now, on the way out the door, the Dick's security works closely with the police department down there. The cops are all waiting for the kids. So when the kids come out, they all get arrested. And one of them is able to call the coach and say, we just got arrested. Meanwhile, they have a very big game. And this is the point I want to make about this story. The kids were stealing, and that's a common retail theft in Philadelphia is a big deal. Down in Florida, I don't see a lot of retail theft, to be honest with you. I don't see a lot of trouble down there. I live there, and I live up here in the Philadelphia area. And their police work is significantly different. But listen, the kids are to blame. There's no doubt about it. But when the coach shows up, I think he made it worse because the sheriff of Polk County, who's very well known, is also media savvy. But when the coach shows up, and I always tell people about this in business and in life, when you don't have leverage, don't cause trouble. Don't mouth off when you don't have leverage. Be nice to people, smooth them, look at a way for them to kind of bring the temperature down. But the coach comes up and actually says to the cops, well, first of all, I think it's honorable that he wants to protect his kids, right? That makes sense. He wants to protect his kids. But then he starts getting into the cops. Is this really necessary? Don't you have something better else to do to the cops? Then he goes into, why are all so many cops here? So he starts to become insultive. And I guess he's nervous. He's about to play a football game and his kids are about to get locked up, which they will. They're now going to be sent to the juvenile detention center. But here's the thing. He had no leverage. And when you start upsetting the cops, now you have this Polk sheriff who goes on national news all the time. Instead of coming up and trying to smooth it over, see if they could, listen, those kids were going to go to the juvie detention center no matter what. But maybe the sheriff, if that coach showed up yelling at the kids, God, this is so wrong, I'm going to do this to you, do that to you. Maybe the sheriff, and then don't insult the cops, maybe the sheriff wouldn't have made it a national story, which is now embarrassing the city of Philadelphia, embarrassing the parents and the kids. The parents will now have to go back down to do a hearing, pay a fine. And I'm just saying, if that coach needs a little bit of coaching. And this is everyone can use a little bit of coaching in the sense he should have had a completely different approach, because maybe if the sheriff thought he was a respect to the police, he knew the kids did wrong, he might have said, listen, we got to take him to juvie, but we're going to make it easier. I'm not going to talk about it on every newspaper in the country. And that's why I think this story blew up, because you got to understand in a situation where you have no leverage, you got to bring the temperature down, and you kind of got to throw yourself at the mercy of the people in a respectable way. But he should have showed up there immediately, yelling at those kids, and then apologizing to the police and seeing if he could have brought the temperature down on it. Now it's a national story, makes Philly look bad, make the coach looks bad, and that's how it works. But anyway, we're going to take a break. We're going to be back in a few.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Join Dom Giordano for the Navy League Philadelphia's watch party of the Army-Navy game today at Manayunk Brewery. It's an atmosphere like no other for college football's most patriotic tradition. Enjoy prize raffles along with great specials throughout the game. Tickets are on sale now for just $15 at NavyLeaguePhilly.org. All proceeds go to Navy League Philadelphia to support our local Sea Service members. You can become a member of Navy League Philly and help support our Sea Service members for just $25 a year.
5. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The price of gold has risen to $4,000 per ounce. There's never been a better time to sell your unwanted gold jewelry. Get immediate cash at our 5 days only buying event, December 15th through the 19th at the Holiday Inn on Penrose Avenue in South Philadelphia. Bring in your unwanted, broken, or forgotten gold jewelry, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches. You'll receive a free evaluation and get paid cash on the spot. No pressure, no obligation. Top dollar offers are being made all week long. If it's gold, bring it. Gold chains, rings, earrings, bracelets, charms, estate pieces, even single earrings and broken jewelry. There has never been a better time to sell your gold jewelry than this event. It's 5 days only, December 15th through the 19th from 10 to 5 at the Holiday Inn on Penrose Avenue in South Philadelphia. Don't wait. Clean out those jewelry boxes and turn your valuables into instant cash. Again, turn your old jewelry into instant cash. December 15th through the 19th at the Holiday Inn on Penrose Avenue in South Philadelphia. Sponsored by ImmediateCashForGold.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Welcome back to 1210 WPHT here in Philadelphia. This is Tom Azelby on the Tom Azelby Show this Saturday morning in Philadelphia. You know what? I want to make a Netflix recommendation. And, you know, it's called Death by Lightning, and it's the assassination of President James Garfield. So it's in 1881 it takes place. It's only 4 episodes. So, you know, stop scrolling, stop watching a little football. It's only 4 episodes, and it's really a good historical perspective on a president no one really remembers. He was assassinated 16 years after Abraham Lincoln. And it has some great acting. It has some great acting in it. The guy from Succession is the assassin. The other guy was in Boardwalk Empire. And what was he? He was the Iceman. Matter of fact, Kirk, the Iceman lived in my town. The killer for the mafia, he killed like 100 and something people, though he said they made he was on HBO.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, the actor that played him is in this this historical drama. And it's about Garfield's assassination. And what I like is it demonstrates what we see today in politics going on with big, corporate interests, just the sleaziness, the fighting, the undercutting. It's kind of covered in this. The same thing was happening in 1880 based on this this docudrama. It's very good. It's only 4 episodes, and it's worth taking a look at. He's actually assassinated by a crazy guy, and we've seen that. We've seen Trump nearly assassinated twice by a crazy guy. Yeah, 2 crazy guys. Charlie Kirk, another crazy guy.
Mm-hmm.
So this series really caught me because a lot of people don't know about James Garfield. But it's a heck of a. It's not going to blow your mind or whatever. But it's. I really, really enjoyed it. So, all right. The next thing. Let's get into the politics. That's what we do here. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. The press tried to kill her. She shot a hunting dog in the face or whatever in her book, and she told people about it. Listen, out in rural communities, they do shoot dogs, as horrible as that is. But Kristi Noem went in front of Congress to go in front of the Homeland Security Committee. And a lot of people say, oh, I want to give you some information. They said that they asked her, have you deported any veterans? That means illegals that came here, got into the military. I guess they overlooked their status. If they served, then they try to help them to become citizens. And she said no. I mean, there's up to 2 million people that have self-deported. Hundreds of thousands have been deported by Trump. So knowing who's a veteran or not, but they think it's a big gotcha moment. But one of the veterans that was deported was a guy that fought in Iraq, and he had an honorable discharge. I think he got a Purple Heart. He did some bravery things, but Purple Heart is if you get wounded or injured. But so he wasn't a Bronze Star, Silver Star, Gold Star. They were trying to twist that a little bit in the press. This guy's name was Barco, I believe, and everyone's saying she deported a guy with PTSD that served honorably in Iraq. But this is what they don't tell you. They act like he fired a gun at a party and it accidentally went off and it shot a girl in the leg, a pregnant girl, a pregnant teenager, actually. But the truth is, he fired a warning shot in the basement of the house of the party, okay? And he was like 25 years old and there were mostly teenagers there. Then they threw him out of the party and then he drove back and he fired multiple rounds at teenagers on a porch where 20 to 25 people were gathered. That same soldier is the one that the left is now getting behind. We shouldn't have deported him. But here's the problem. He didn't do the proper paperwork. He failed to do it. I think he did have PTSD. That's what they're saying. But a guy with this type of mentality came here illegally, doesn't go through the paperwork process as other veterans were trying to help him do. The government ended up, after that behavior, shipping him off. Personally, I think they should. Because the amount of energy, first of all, he's dangerous, and he's not an American citizen. He didn't make the effort to become one. The other reason is he's probably going to end up in jail, or because we don't have insane asylums anymore, so he's probably going to end up in jail. Anyone that fires at teenagers, 20 to 25 people, multiple rounds. So listen, this is once I said, this is how I see it. This is my perspective. Other people would say, listen, I wouldn't have cared if they wrote him a big check and said, get your help in PTSD back in Venezuela or wherever we're shipping you back to. But when you violate something like that and shoot a young teenager who's pregnant, never mind multiple rounds at people, I think you got to go. Veterans can't be given some like carte blanche, like you get this extra special treatment because you're a veteran. That's not the way the world works. We can't be doing that. There's too many people, and people in the military. Let's be honest, a lot of people in the military that are a little out of it. And so I actually believe he had to go, but I wanted to let everyone know because it's making headlines now, but they're just saying like, oh, what, the gun misfired or it went off accidentally. They're trying, like the media does, they're trying to build a narrative on this guy. But now you all know that he's shot in the ceiling, thrown out, drives by, makes multiple shots at a bunch of kids on a porch. Okay, this next one I got to go. It's at the same hearing. I believe it's at the same hearing with Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security. There's a congressman named Benny Thompson. Kirk, we got that clip, right? Let's play number 6.
With the National Guardsmen being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
Hey Kirk, let's stop it there because can we roll that back? We got to hear the beginning of that.
NCTC reference the unfortunate accident that occurred with the National Guardsmen being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
I mean,
it was a terrorist attack.
Wait. Look, I'll get it straight. Then you can
He shot our National Guardsman in the head.
Look, Mr. Chairman, will you direct the witness to allow me to ask my question? It was an unfortunate situation.
Okay, I think the audience, the listeners got the point there. So, like I said, always go to the source. Who is this Benny Thompson? So this is, and I should have set it up better for you, but I'm going to set it up now. And I know you're clear on it because everyone's been following the news. The Afghan who traveled from across the country in the state of Washington, D.C., stalked 2 West Virginia guardsmen. One was a woman, one was a male, one was 20, the female, 25 male, who's the sergeant, who's still in the hospital. The 20-year-old female was shot in the head by a high-caliber pistol and nearly blew her head off, literally. Her father said that. So this Benny Thompson is a congressman from Mississippi. He's been sitting in Congress since 1993. Way too long. He's 77 years old. So he describes this incident of a jihadist who was yelling Ali Akbar as he shot this poor, beautiful young woman standing on a street corner in D.C. He stalked them. He shoots her, and this Benny Thompson says this unfortunate accident. This wasn't like a training accident. This wasn't a car accident. He calls a murder by someone yelling Ali Akbar and firing at point blank range at 2 guardsmen. And he calls that an unfortunate accident. And then when he tries to walk it back, he calls it an unfortunate situation. Now, this is what scares me about our government. Benny Thompson is a congressman from Mississippi. He is the minority. He was the chair. When the Democrats were in control, he was the chair of the Homeland Security Committee, okay? Now he's the minority, but he is the leader of the Minority Committee on Homeland Security. Think of America. This is the guy, Homeland Security, keeping us all safe, our kids safe, all the security about, terrorism, riots, Homeland Security. And this guy refers to that shooting as an unfortunate accident. It's unbelievable that this guy has this power, and he's been sitting down there for now 32 years. This is why, you got to be very careful out there because guys like him are in charge, and that's dangerous. And leadership is everything. We'll be back after the break.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
Politics, the stock market, the Fed. How do you protect your 401k? Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen. Saturdays at 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, the holidays are here, and if you haven't wrapped up all of your shopping, no worries. I have the solution for you. Omaha Steaks. Whether you gift them or host a holiday party and entertain, meat is the way to go. We just had a Kale family holiday get-together, and Omaha was a grand slam. Bacon-wrapped burgers, scalloped potatoes, fresh chicken, and succulent steaks. It was a complete hit. Give the gift of USDA-certified tender steaks, premium proteins, elegant sides, and decadent desserts. Shop the season's top gourmet gifts at omahasteaks.com. Plus, my listeners get an exclusive $35 off with code Nick at checkout. I personally love the ribeyes, the strip steaks, and the fillets. Grass-fed, grain-finished beef has more marbling for exceptional flavor. Omaha Steaks has been America's butcher in the heartland since 1917. Save big today. Visit omahasteaks.com and use the promo code Nick at checkout for $35 off your purchase. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
At Citizens, we help make sense of your money and all your money questions.
Should I pay down my debt or start an emergency fund?
Is now the right time to start saving?
How can I move my financial goalposts even an inch?
Can money actually buy happiness?
What's it take to live like a royal in Queen Village?
Whatever money questions you have, Citizens has the answers. Make sense of your money at citizensbank.com/made-ready. Member FDIC.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to 1210 WPHT. Tom Azelby here. Yeah, I see the YouTube chat. That's moving. Everyone's up early on this Army-Navy weekend, and there's no game in Philadelphia. That's a big bummer. But the chat's pretty active, which is great. I'm glad people are up early and engaging today. That's good stuff. I'm going to keep on the... after listening to that congressman and that terrorist attack that happened in D.C., I'm gonna keep going down this line. I only got an hour, but I have so much material I want to share with you. So let me get to it. So I'm gonna play a clip. It's from the NCTC director. His name is Joe Kent, and that's the National Counterterrorism Center. And so there's so many different departments in D.C., But this Joe Kent, his National Counterterrorism Center, that rolls up under Tulsi Gabbard. So just so you know, when you listen to him speak, his department is under Tulsi Gabbard, who runs the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence. So let's play that clip from Joe Kent.
We've made significant progress under President Trump's leadership. We have the jihadis of ISIS and al-Qaeda on the run in Iraq and Syria, thanks to the decisive action and the strikes that we've taken there recently since President Trump took office in January. However, we have a persistent threat from the individuals that were allowed into this country by the previous administration. The number one threat that we have right now, in my view, is the fact that we don't know who came into our country in the last 4 years of Biden's open borders. What we have identified is alarming, and I want to share that with you today. We just recently put out a warning of the heightened risk of terrorist attacks posed to the homeland by terrorists pretty much of all stripes, but in particular from ISIS and from al-Qaeda. NCTC has been crunching the numbers and going through the sheer volume of known and suspected terrorists that are in the country that came in under the Biden administration. So far, NCTC has identified around 18,000 known.
Okay, that's it right there. 18,000. That's what our government has identified as unknown suspected terrorists that entered into the country on Joe Biden the last 4 years. 18,000. That's a lot, folks. And that's the ones they know, not the ones they don't know. So that's a very scary number. And now I'm going to take you, and this is why it's so scary, because all this immigration explosion that happened under Biden, it doesn't only affect that we have terrorists in the country, we have criminals in the country, we have all this going on. But the problem is people are getting driver's license, CDLs in California by the thousands. They can't read or speak English, crashing into people. This then gets into voting in the sense, now everyone understands that listens to this show, that every illegal is accounted and then federal funds are allocated based on the overall population, not if you're legal or illegal. The amount of Congress people you get to send to Congress. Same thing, illegal or legal, they count them all. So some power that should be going to, say, Nebraska is now going to California because they let so many illegals in. It's just not fair. That's the problem. It's not fair. But listen, I'm going to play you a call, and you can listen to this guy on X. And I like bringing people on X. I was going to have him on as a guest. I kind of like these citizen journalists, but he's called Unquirer. It's UNQUIRER. UNQUIRER on X. I'm going to play a clip from that he did a phony phone call. I love phony phone calls. Kind of think how I got in the radio business. It's a whole other story. I used to do phony phone calls to WIP. Another story. But anyway, I want to play his clip to the DMV in Maine. Let's play that, Kirk. That's number 4.
Okay, so as long as he brought his birth certificate from Africa, he'll be okay to get his driver's license?
So that is one form of ID that we can accept for the exam process to get him started. The other one needs to bear a signature.
So would you take like a country ID? Because they do kind of similar to
Yeah,
state.
you know if that's been signed, if there's an immature.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so I looked at it. So as long as he has his birth certificate from his home country in Africa and a driver's license that has a signature from his country, that should be okay?
So we would be able to use that out-of-country ID for the signature piece as long as that birth certificate has been translated. Do you know if it has?
Yes, yeah, he does have his, yeah.
It is translated. Okay,
Yeah.
then yep.
Awesome.
We could. Yeah.
Okay, so his name's Mohammed. I guess now the next step would be this. He doesn't speak any English. Is the test done in Somalian?
So for the Class C language, we do translate in Somalia. On that form, that application that I was talking about earlier, there's a box on there that says
All right,
oral,
Kirk, I'm going to fill
which
it in
is
for
neither
the listeners. Basically, he's going to go on a little bit longer, and he's going to describe, basically, up to this point, if he has a Somalian birth certificate, he's getting a Maine driver's license, okay? And then we're going to go to the next call, because once you have a Maine driver's license, you're able to register to vote. Now, he is not a citizen of the United States. I don't know if he identified him as a refugee or just that he's here. I don't think he even says he doesn't tell. And this is a phony phone call that this guy on X is making. And what he will then say, the guy on X who's pretending to help this Somalian, and we know what just went on in Minnesota. They stole $1 billion. The mafia couldn't even steal $1 billion. And the Somalians stole $1 billion in 5 years. So what happens here is he goes on to say that the guy in Somalia ran over 2 people when he drove up onto a sidewalk. And this civil servant from Maine, who, quite frankly, is good at customer service, is very polite. Nothing shocks her. She is just going to do the letter of the law, and that means give anyone a license. If he's got a Somalian birth certificate that's been translated, she's giving this guy a license. And what's interesting, up in Maine, there were 2 separate incidents where 2 pedestrians got ran over by 2 African Angolans, not together, at separate times. Okay, this made big news up in Maine. So here we go to the DMV in Maine. She's about to give this guy a driver's license. All he needs is a Somalian birth certificate, and I'm sure they're all legitimate. It's a failed state. But if you got a birth certificate, you're in. And believe me, if you're in, then we get to the next call, which is number 5, because then this guy calls the voter registration office in Maine. So let's hear what goes on in this call.
I have a friend that's in Lewiston, and I just helped him get his driver's license and everything. What's the process to get him registered to vote?
There is an online version that you can do if you go to the Secretary of State website, and he can register right online there.
Okay.
Driver's license or sort of identification, or he could go to the town office, or the town office can send him a voter reg application.
So as long as he has his driver's license ID number, he can just do it online. That makes it pretty easy.
And an address, of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the one hard part is that his address is the refugee center in Lewiston. They let him get his driver's license with that on there. Is that going to be a problem, or it doesn't matter?
I think that should be okay.
Okay. There we go, Kirk. I think the audience this is what we're up against. And if you think that, our election, well, no one thinks, like everything, there is cheating in everything, in every institution. It's to what degree, because life is about to what degree. And to walk around and say that we have all these safe elections or whatever, here you're seeing it. You're hearing it live. This X user did a great job exposing this, and someone wrote, Maine and Minnesota should leave the union. I agree with you. I just saw that on YouTube. That is spot on. I don't think that's going to happen, but what we can do is we gotta make the federal government smaller. At least give us 50 choices where to live. So, because if you federalize everything, we're all trapped under the federal government, and that has been going on for 30 years. And that's why there has to be a push to get power back to the states. And I voted in New Jersey, and I voted in Florida. And Florida's system is so modern, so efficient. I don't even know how you could cheat in Florida, where I go to vote. Now in New Jersey, I had to call them to get off their voter roll, fill out a hand form, send it back. I would have been on the voter roll for the next 30 years. I could have, even though I still own a home there, I'm not allowed to vote there, and I'd never vote there. It's against the law. But I could have walked in year after year, just signed the book and voted. So I could have voted in Florida in the morning, flown up to New Jersey and voted. So our elections are not secure. And I'll tell you this, they're much more secure in red states than they are in blue states. Because, listen, Democrats cheat. That's just the way it is. And I'll leave that segment there. We'll be back after the break.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Tune in tonight starting at 7 p.m. for the Bob Pantano Saturday Night Dance Party, live from Adelphia in Deptford. The Bob Pantano Saturday Night Dance Party is broadcast exclusively on 98.1 HD2 and Bob Pantano Dance Party Radio on the Odyssey app. Styled by Designs by Ann Catania.
Join Dom Giordano for the Navy League Philadelphia's watch party of the Army-Navy game today at Manayunk Brewery. It's an atmosphere like no other for college football's most patriotic tradition. Enjoy prize raffles along with great specials throughout the game. Tickets are on sale now for just $15 at NavyLeaguePhilly.org. All proceeds go to Navy League Philadelphia to support our local Sea Service members. You can become a member of Navy League Philly and help support our Sea Service members for just $25 a year.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Yo, Doylestown. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back to 1210 WPHT in Philadelphia. This is the Tom Azelby Show, and you're with Tom Azelby. So we've got a few minutes left. I'm going to jump to Bill Maher and his podcast. I think it's the Club Random podcast. I got a whole thing on Bill Maher, but just like my old psychoanalyst of him. But I'm not doing that this morning because I don't have the time. But I do want to set this up. Anna, I think her name is Anna Kasparian. And she was on the Young Turks. That's that network, the young progressive leftist, the heavyset guy. I forget what his name is, but that's not important right now. But Anna Kay is getting interviewed by Bill Maher. She's definitely a progressive, but she has started to move away, not calling herself a progressive because they went too nuts with her on her, meaning about men and women's sports. And she's, well, you know what? Let her say it in her own words. So we're going to go to the clip, and that's, I'll call her Anna Kay. Here we go.
When I talk about the period of my life when I was the most miserable, I wasn't able to see the good in everyone, right? And so I was very much in the mindset of who you vote for demonstrates what your values are. And if I have determined that the person you voted for is a bad actor or immoral, that means you're bad and you're immoral. And it is a terrible place to be where you think half the country is awful.
Exactly what my theme was Friday. And you know, so I was disappointed that, you know, I said about the thing again, trying to be respectful.
All right. So she goes on to say that she's kind of moved away from the party because it was making her miserable to be a leftist. Because if you didn't see the world the way she saw the world, then you were evil. And that's why you hear a lot of Nazis, you're a fascist. Now their big thing is that, you know, you love a pedophile. Like some of the worst things you can say about people, Democrats just say it like it's everyday language about people on the right who support Trump. It's, hey, listen, I'm guilty of it too. Like when I think of Democrats, I don't think they're evil. I just think like either they don't pay attention, they have had a life experience like I have that is, I don't know, I'm going to get to it, childhood trauma. Like that when things didn't go well, they kind of have that thing in them that, you know, life's been so tough on me, so I've got to be for the underdog, even if the underdog is a rapist, illegal, or does dastardly things. I still got to be sympathetic to them. I mean, I don't really have that type of gene in me, but I think they do. But here's where she gets tripped up a little bit, and we're going to get into. She's asked a question. If she could live in any city in the Middle East. Now, remember, I want you to know this Anna Kasparina or whatever, she's Armenian. Her family was nearly, her grandparents were involved when the Turks killed all the Armenians in the early 20th century. But here's a question from Bill Maher to her, and I'm going to analyze that for you, but let's hear her answer.
If you had to live in the Middle East, so tomorrow, Anna, you got to go live in the Middle East, where would you live? You can pick one city, any city. You can, you know, as far away as, say, Pakistan. You could live in Karachi. You could live in Cairo. You could live in Amman, Jordan. You seem to love Lebanon. I mean, Beirut's nice when the bombing's not happening and the assassinations have stopped. Or you could live in Syria. I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Well, we now have Al-Qaeda terrorists leading Syria.
Or the Houthis, I'm sure, would make room for you.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv, or the West Bank, Ramallah, I think is wonderful for like a little, in the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
You're not
United States.
You're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
Are you? You're blaming Islam on Whitey?
I'm not blaming Islam on Whitey.
But what you're saying is we destabilized. That's why you can't wear that
dress. Did we not destabilize?
Wait a second.
We were funding terrorist organizations in Syria during the Syrian Civil War.
Here we go. So, and you know what? She's still a progressive, but I guess she's trying not to be. She's trying to move to be more of a traditional Democrat. But right there, when you're asked that question, all this Anna had to answer was, of course I would live in Tel Aviv. I'm a modern feminist woman. I am not going to live in an Islamic city in an Islamic culture and get veiled up. I mean, it just would have been, she could have just pivoted real quick and said, of course I live in Tel Aviv, because in Tel Aviv, there are Arabs and Muslims and gay people and everything. You can live in Israel any way you want, especially in Tel Aviv. That's the answer she should have given. But instead, like Bill called her out, like, oh, the whole Islamic culture with women and their treatment of women is all caused by America. That's that self-hating kind of progressive attitude that America sucks. And she's got to tune it up a little bit. She could have just said, yes, of course I'd live in. Maybe she could have said Dubai, because Dubai is a modern city and you could live there if you were in the Middle East. But wow, she just couldn't just say it. And then she could have attacked Israel's policies, but just say, yes, of course, Tel Aviv. But sometimes they can't even be honest with themselves. But you know what? That was a quick hour. That was a fun morning this Saturday morning. Have a great weekend and go Navy.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game.